Well, everybody, and a tremendous Thursday evening to you, coming your way from the campus of Concordia High School. We've got high school basketball, the regular season finale between the Concordia Mustangs and the Lincoln Christian Crusaders coming to town. I think they brought their entire basketball program, including the junior high school basketball teams, right here. I'm Son Edom, alongside Lewis Thune. And Lewis, we've got a bunch of people wearing pink for this game. Tell us about that. What's the pink all about?
Well, the pink out is a staple in Concordia events. The student section likes to get out there to show breast cancer awareness. But we also need a theme every once in a while that kind of throws a wrench in things. And so you see we got some dudes out there in pink tank tops. We have old school shirts from a couple years ago. We got pink pants that, you know, your mom probably got you for a joke. It really brings some life to the student section, and it makes them all the louder.
Yeah, so we've got that celebrating tonight, or at least, I guess, recognizing it and bringing awareness to that. We've got a basketball game at hand, and one interesting thing about tonight, first off, Lincoln Christian has had the number of Concordia over the years. I think they've won 10 games. Concordia's won 3, and it's going to be a good game, but Concordia won last year. And one little nugget to put in your hip pocket as you listen to the game tonight, these two teams could meet up again next Tuesday night in the conference playoffs, depending on what Monday night goes, because Concordia is going to host, and we're going to pause for a moment, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, Heavenly Father, we give thanks for allowing us to join you tonight, witness the joy and community brought to us by high school basketball. On this night, celebration of Pink Out, we offer prayer for all those who are with us tonight that are suffering from cancer and currently in recovery, and for those of you who have family members or people close to you that are currently fighting the disease. May the Lord keep all of you strong and safe and give you the will to continue your recovery. We also want to give thanks to our coaches and players. Thank them for the dedication that they have brought to us, the power of education that comes to the court tonight. Help keep our players safe, help them play to the best of their ability and glorify God through this great game of basketball. In Jesus' name, we pray.
And so, as we're saying, these two teams could match up again Tuesday night in the conference playoffs. Concordia will host Tuesday night, that's for sure. Lincoln Christian, the Crusaders, all they have to do is get by their opponent Monday night, which they probably should. So as we play the game tonight, keep in mind that we'll probably have a rematch more than likely on Tuesday night in the conference. So that's going to be something unique tonight.
That's right. These two teams hard fought, both rising in the Centennial Conference. Extremely good, looking to dethrone the Kearney Catholic Stars as the reigning conference champions.
One thing to keep in mind tonight as we take a look at the starting lineups, and I'll let you do the starting lineups, but there's some dude that's like a monster giant. Goliath is on the floor tonight for the Crusaders. Let's take a look at the starting lineup.
That giant is number 0, Easton Marshbanks, the 7-foot senior at forward. He hasn't stopped growing since freshman year, and he has been a staple on this Lincoln Christian team. He's helped by number 1, Ethan Barrier, the 5'11 senior forward. The guards are being manned by number 4, Gage Holan, the 6'1 senior. Number 11, Luke Hovendick, the 6'3 junior, formerly of Concordia. And number 22, Kobe Hansen, the 5'9 senior guard. On the Concordia side of the ball, the same 5 starters that we've been seeing all year. Justin Otten and Zach O'Harathie, the 2 senior forwards, both standing right around 6'6". And at the guards, number 24, Karsten Matson, who's closing in on the career 3-point mark. Zach Koulis, number 4, last year's All-State C1 point guard. And number 3, Brock Olson, the 6'1 senior.
And here we go with the tip tonight, and here's Lewis Thune with the play-by-play.
Quick tip. A nice pass down court. Otten can't cash in on the layup, and Lincoln Christian runs the court. Hovendick stuck in the corner. Gets it out. And Lincoln Christian looks to set up the offense after a rather briefly chaotic start. Lob pass to Easton Marshbanks inside. He's got the length, but he can't get a shot, and Lincoln Christian reverses the ball, missing a three.
So Koulis came up big the other night. Didn't really have too many points, but came up big on the rebounding.
Yes, Koulis, extremely good hops, extremely good all-around athlete, and very good awareness across the court. He's able to see far better than the average point guard, and that helps him offensively and defensively. You see an errant pass. Al Harathi tries to save it, and Lincoln Christian lines up for an inbound under the Concordia basket. Score still 0-0 here, 50 seconds into the game.
Al-Harity and Marshbanks, that's going to be a matchup down there because it looks like the Crusaders are going to their big guy, their 7-foot center, early here in the game.
A little bit of unfinished business. Hovendick cashes in a long three with a little bounce there. Marshbanks got out-muscled last year, and Justin Otten was able to effectively take him out of the game, and that was part of the reasons why Concordia was able to pull out. Koulis drives and misses. Marshbanks definitely wants to hold his own tonight and help his team. Almost stolen by Koulis, but Lincoln Christian back in control, up 3-0. Moving the ball around the perimeter. And cashing in another three. That's going to be a big part of tonight.
Well, the other night, Concordia on the three-point line was outscored 8 3-points to 1 in their narrow victory the other night. And so, that's like a 24-3 advantage for Blair the other night in that close win for Concordia.
It was a tough game. When these Mustangs cannot turn on the three-point shot, they struggle mightily. They've seen that this year against Blair and Fort Calhoun. Another miss, Karsten Matson from the corner, and it hits number 1 Ethan Barrier's leg as it's swatted by Justin Otten. And the Mustangs take possession of the ball, looking for a point here 2 minutes into the first quarter.
Yeah, the other night against Blair, Matson and Koulis combined for 9 points and 1 3-pointer combined in the game in overtime. It went to overtime. You need better production tonight, I think, if you want to pull out this one.
Those guards open up the entire rest of the offense. And when Matson and Koulis aren't on, it makes it extremely hard for the rest of the team to work. And Koulis, with a fadeaway 2-point shot, draws the foul and drains the bucket. So he heads to the line for a possible 3-point play. Like you said, son, Koulis is going to need to come through tonight if the Mustangs want to hang around with this drastically improved Lincoln Christian team.
Al-Harity on the inside battling the big guy Marshbanks. Even though he got his shot blocked and he's challenged there, it's good to go after him because you never know what kind of foul trouble Marshbanks might get into. You might get him winded, beat up on him a little bit. He has to come out of the game, so going after him is going to be okay.
Zach Al-Harathi is extremely physical inside. He was able to out-muscle guys all year with the exception of the Schwartz twins of Fort Calhoun. He's looking to keep his good reputation in C1 alive tonight against the big man Easton Marshbanks. Lincoln Christian again setting up their offense. Not able to get penetration, but Gage Holen hits a nice floater from the free throw line. Lincoln Christian opens up with 8 points here just 3 minutes into the quarter.
Yeah, Holen with 5 points in the contest.
Looks like we have a foul on the ground, and the Mustangs will inbound. Koulis coming out firing early. Looks extremely confident taking those shots, and though he's only been able to get one to fall, like I said, he's out there confident, and when Zach Koulis is confident, he doesn't often miss. Some ball movement on the inbounds play. They aren't able to set it up. Koulis from deep, miss. Al-Harathi with the rebound, but that length of Easton Marshbanks comes into play, and he throws an errant pass.
Yeah, he did a good job getting that rebound. You just got to protect the ball a little better.
Otten with a rebound off a Lincoln Christian three-pointer. Mustangs looking for some points here. Only been able to score 3 so far, almost halfway through the first quarter. You see again, they work the ball inside with Zach Al-Harathi, and he scores on Marshbanks. Score now 8-5 Lincoln Christian.
That was a nice move underneath down on the offensive side for Concordia. Alharity getting it in, getting the deuce, but then coming back and committing the foul underneath. And now you're going to see McCafferty come in, and this should be, McCafferty's a little bit bigger size, so maybe he has a little more muscle to push Marchbanks around a little bit more.
They're going to need McCafferty and Alharity to both put in quality minutes tonight. Marchbanks, an extremely consistent scorer and part of this Lincoln Christian offense because, you know, he's 7 feet tall. McCafferty is going to be the guy who's going to keep him out of the paint, and Alharity is going to be the guy who out-hustles him for the rebounds. Koulis again taking a shot and missing.
Looks like he's been short on some of his shots here tonight.
And another foul sends number 5, Cohen Sand, the freshman, to the line.
That's his first personal and the team's second for the half.
We see Son early on in this game, free throws. This is, I believe, the 7th free throw of the contest so far. It's going to come into play later on.
I think one thing, too, is that you have to shake off the performance the other night, okay? Like you said, they shot a poor percentage. You know, Koulis, no three-pointers. He had only 2 points in regulation. In fact, him and Matson only had 2 points the first 3 quarters. Then Matson hit a couple free throws. They scored all 4 or 5 points in the overtime, but they've got to put that game behind them and just focus on what they've been doing all season long, those fundamentals.
Mustangs definitely lucky to come out of that Blair game, a game that many of us felt they definitely should have lost with how poorly they played. Like you said, dismal from three-point range, and were only able to put it together in overtime. Lincoln Christian seems to be out-hustling and outscoring them here in the first quarter.
Some nice defense by McCafferty underneath to alter the shot and then get the rebound.
Mustangs up top, Brock Olson taking control. Moves it inside to Elliott Wilson, 7th man off, and misses. Number 22, Kobe Hansen brings the ball up. Lincoln Christian, you see this movement is centered around speed. Really, the offense is passing and cutting, and they're setting hard screens. And you see Easton Marchbanks there. He's not a bad shooter either, so he cashes in from mid-range.
Yeah, showing that he's got more than just the inside game. He can play outside the paint.
I don't think the Mustangs were expecting that coming into tonight. That's going to have to be an on-the-fly adjustment for Coach Ken Koulis, and Marchbanks stuffs a Quentin McCafferty shot. Lincoln Christian takes the ball again, 2.5 minutes, up 12-5.
Yeah, right now Marchbanks getting a little liberal contact underneath. Ref's not really calling anything tight right now, so McCafferty might have to alter his game a little bit.
There you see Marchbanks takes the shot in the corner. That's what these Mustangs need Zach Alharity for, as he can close out there on the perimeter. And Lincoln Christian, with a little failure of defense there, gives Brock Olson the open 3, and he takes full advantage of it. Mustangs now down by 4 here as we wind down under 2 minutes in this first quarter.
Yeah, right now the Crusaders really going through Marchbanks, I should say. They go to him, but they're actually going through him, running that offense.
Marchbanks inside. And Mustangs are able to wrestle the rebound away from him. A rare inside miss from Easton Marchbanks. And the Mustangs want to close this to a 1-possession game here. Matson works the ball to Elliott Wilson, the shooter.
Wow, McCafferty.
From the elbow, knocks it down. And that's something McCafferty has been working on as well. He's always been a decent shooter, but now is the team's going to need him to be more consistent here as we wind down in the season. He's been hammering away those jump shots.
He had 16 points the other night against Blair.
Cohen Sand cashes in a 3. Lincoln Christian answers back quickly, up 15-10, less than a minute to go.
No, Wilson gave them a nice spark the other night off the bench versus Blair. I don't think McCafferty should be shooting threes.
There you see the future of Lincoln Christian basketball. Cohen Sand had a spectacular opening game this season and has continued that all throughout the year. Coming in as a freshman, a regular rotation player off the bench, you see there the speed he brings and especially the ability to finish inside. It's going to be crucial for this Lincoln Christian team as they move on from guys like Easton Marshbanks.
Yeah, Sands, like you said, just a 6'2" freshman out there. Missing his free throw.
Mustangs look to be playing for the last shot here.
Yeah, we saw Blair run off basically 4 minutes off the clock the other night. Nice weak side rebound by O'Harity.
And now they're definitely going to play for the last shot. Looks like Wilson will take the ball up top and wait for a high screen.
Oh, tip and goes.
Tipped in. I can't see if that was Zach O'Harity or Justin Otten, but the Mustangs get that last bucket and are able to close out the first quarter. They took the lid off the bucket a little bit and were able to close that Lincoln Christian lead to only 5 points as we wind down here, opening up the second quarter of play. Lincoln Christian up 17-12.
Yeah, taking a look at the scoring in that first quarter, you had O'Harity with that tip back at the buzzer, 4 points. Colas with 3 points, the untraditional way, I guess now, the and one. Olson with 3. He had the traditional 3 from beyond the arc, and then McCafferty with 2. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Marshbanks with 4. I guess Holland with 5. Hovendick with 3, and Sands with 5. And the 17-12 lead. From the free throw line, the Mustangs, they were 1 of 1 from the free throw line. The Crusaders had a hard time. They went dry at the line, 0 for 4. Concordia won last year, 54-48 in that close game. And so tonight, right now, the early lead to the Crusaders, but still plenty of basketball left to be played.
It is always a fight to the finish when these two teams are together. And that's a testament to the ability of this Lincoln Christian team to maintain leads and also close deficits. They make it a very tough game every time. Gage Holen misses a shot from 20, and Mustangs get the rebound.
Yeah, Marshbank's not on the floor right now to start the second. Maybe an opportunity here for the Mustangs.
Karsten Matson makes a 3. I have been reliably informed that Karsten Matson needs 3 3-pointers in each of the remaining regular season games this year to break the all-time career 3-point record at the school, held currently by Buck Lyman.
Otten pulling down the nice weak side defensive board.
Another missed 3 there, this time from Cameron Herrera, and the Mustangs have a shot to knot up this game.
Ooh, could not get the roll.
Matheson draws the foul. He's headed to the line for 2, hoping to tie this game up. One thing about Karsten Matheson is that he's an extremely good free throw shooter. Last year, one of the top 10 in Class C1, shooting over 90%. We saw that in its entirety against Roncalli Catholic, who was at that point ranked number 1 in Class B. He went 14 for 15. But you see here, he breaks the first free throw, and now he's just looking to grab one, get back on D.
Yeah, chance to cut the deficit to 1 point. Right now it's 17-15, Crusaders on top.
Misses them both. Uncharacteristic for Karsten Matson. And Crusaders want to take full advantage here.
Oh, and there's Marshbanks with his first foul.
And that is something the Mustangs are going to try and do tonight, is they want to get Easton Marshbanks in foul trouble and take him out of this game. Because if they can get Easton Marshbanks as a non-factor in this contest, they have the size advantage. As long as Marshbanks is there, Lincoln Christian is far, far bigger than this Mustangs team.
Have we seen both O'Harity and McCafferty on the floor at the same time this year?
I believe there was a little 2-minute period in the SCOTUS game, but to this point, no. Normally, Coach Ken Koulis likes to sub McCafferty and O'Harity for one another. McCafferty catches a bad shot and banks it in off his back foot. knots the game up, and this is the first tie game we've had since 0-0.
And that might be some good strategy, having both the big guys in there battling underneath. Put the double team on Marshbanks.
Lincoln Christian again trying to work that ball into Easton Marshbanks. The offense runs through him. Ball's tipped away, but they will retain possession and look for an inbound here.
Marshbanks again, 4 points in the first quarter. He went 0 for 1 from the free throw line and I believe the three-point line.
Luke Hovendick with a 2. Hovendick was here at Concordia his freshman year before transferring to Lincoln Christian to play basketball, and since then he has grown and improved. Now the starting shooting guard in Lincoln Christian's rotation, and looks like a foul down low there by Cohen Sand.
Well, composure on the part of the Mustangs. They were down, like you said, 17-10. They've gone on a 7-0 run, so they've kept their composure, stayed in the game, and now they have an opportunity to take their first lead.
Olsen tries to work the ball inside, but the pass is too high for Zach Koulis, and the Crusaders will take possession here, trying once again to open up a lead here under 6 minutes in the second quarter. Taking the ball up is Kobe Hansen, guarded closely by Zach Koulis.
Yeah, some of these defensive matchups will be pretty interesting tonight to watch.
As defense goes, the Mustangs have the Crusaders there. As offenses go, the Crusaders' offense is far better than this Mustangs team could hope to be. They are efficient from three-point range, and they have Marshbanks to pound the ball inside. Koulis gets a little fancy there, trying to adjust to get that shot over Easton Marshbanks, and a bad pass. The Mustangs get the ball back. Koulis sends Gage Holland flying by, and the Mustangs take a lead on a Zach Koulis three-point shot.
Yeah, Holland went to the popcorn machine on that. Like you said, went flying by with the pump fake, and Koulis able to get his legs into the shot that time, and he buried it. And the student body section, they're enjoying this right now.
Student section is pumped up right now.
Hard Hats celebrating on the first lead of the game now, as the Mustangs have gone on a 10-0 run to take a 20-17 lead.
A relatively poor first quarter leads to a hot streak in the second quarter. The student section is loving it, and especially when you see a big three-point shot like that from Zach Koulis, where he sends a defender off of the court. You know, that's what they love to see. You heard the oohs and ahs coming from there, and when that ball hit the net, crowd went wild, and Lincoln Christian wisely chose to take a timeout and try and stall this momentum the Mustangs have, looking to get something going on offense here.
Yeah, even got the bedazzled hard hat going on there in the front row. So 20-17, Concordia with their first lead on a 10-0 run. The Crusaders, they have yet to score this quarter. They're like in a 3-minute and 15-second drought.
Crusaders need to adjust. The Mustangs defense has figured out their offense. A lot of cuts, a lot of working the ball around the perimeter and just trying to get Marshbanks open inside. This Mustangs team, it appears, has figured it out, and they're exploiting the Crusaders' weaknesses.
Yeah, and that double team of Alherthy and McCafferty giving Marshbanks a lot of problems there, because in the first, he just had one guy on him, and he would able to, go over any other defender because he's 7 feet tall. Now with that kind of double team with two big guys, it's a little bit harder for him to get some points, and he hasn't scored yet in this quarter.
That is a smart double there. Koulis takes the drive. In fact, last year against Easton Marshbanks, Coach Ken Koulis had the team practice all week. Anytime the ball went to the post, he would have all 5 players crash. He wanted to stress to that starting lineup how important it would be to keep the ball out of Easton Marshbanks' hands. And I remember it vividly because I was the guy on the scout team training that varsity defense on how to deny Easton Marshbanks that little isolation in the post.
Were you Marshbanks? Did you play Marshbanks?
Sadly, no.
Oh.
That would have been Quentin McCafferty at that point.
Oh, sure.
I'm assuming they're doing the same this year because, see an illegal screen there from number 22, Kobe Hansen. It's not something you see a lot in today's game now, but the Mustangs will take the ball, looking to expand their three-point lead as Justin Otten goes over to the scorer's table to check in, likely going to relieve Quentin McCafferty. Great recovery there from Kobe Hansen. Fell on the ground and got up in time to intercept the pass. Missed three, a low arcing shot from Gage Holan. Mustangs take the ball here as we close in on 3 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, long shot, long rebound.
There's Karsten Matson, extremely good at drawing fouls, and I might say even better at scoring through those fouls. It's something he's improved in his 4 years here at Concordia.
He's got 3 points in the game, a three-pointer. He's 0 for 2 from the free throw line.
There it is. See, he shakes his head after that shot because he knows that should have happened in the first quarter. He was not happy with himself after missing 2 free throws, and here he's avenging that wrong. Oh no.
Makes 1 of 2, 21-17, an 11-0 run here in the quarter for the Mustangs.
Masson clearly upset. We'll see if he's able to channel that into defense. Luke Hovendick with the ball up top for Lincoln Christian. Cutting around a high post screen from Easton Marshbanks. Ball's inside.
Those 3 seconds, there's all kinds of things going on. Yeah, you had a travel, but you had 3 seconds. The guy was camped out there. You had a tent going and a little campfire, some s'mores.
Ethan Barrier at 5'11" is small for a power forward, but he's used to being the dominant person inside because he's fast, he's nimble, and he's actually very, very strong. So that was a strange experience for him with a 6'6" and a 6'5" guy both bearing down on him, and you saw him travel it away.
Nice defense there by the Crusaders.
Barrier recovers, is able to lay up. Matheson trying to get this Concordia team to function. He's not happy, clearly. Sets a good screen there. Koulis with the ball up top. Drive inside and...
Offensive foul.
Barrier takes the charge.
So the first bucket for the Crusaders in the second quarter comes at the 2:18 mark. So nearly a 6-minute drought, 5 minutes and 40-some seconds. And it also snaps an 11-0 run in the quarter in which the Mustangs have taken the lead. You're starting to see a little bit of the quickness from the Mustangs, too. They're starting to kind of anticipate the passing lane and knocking some passes away, getting the Crusaders out of their rotations.
They've seen this offense function for 1 quarter, and that's enough for them to start figuring out getting down. So they're covering their men on back cuts, but there is one thing that they're going to have to learn how to stop. Easton Marshbanks re-enters the game and puts down 2 points.
Yep, 21-21 is the score now. Masson thinking he's a little Michael Jordan there, coming with a windmill.
Masson thinks he was fouled there, and that shot might have been an attempt to draw a foul, but just not a vote of confidence for the Mustangs there, throwing a ball on the underside of the basket. And this Lincoln Christian team clearly frustrating the Mustangs offense and trying to do the same to the Mustang defense.
Yeah, we got a foul. Does anybody in these days, you kids even know who Michael Jordan is anymore? Have we moved well beyond that?
Well, only when we're debating who's the greatest.
Okay. At least you guys know who he is still, right?
We know the name.
All right.
We do not know the magic very well. Barrier for 3. It's a miss, and Matheson pulls down the rebound. Wants to run in transition. Brock Olson with a pass, and Otten trying to draw a foul. And here come the Crusaders in transition. Ethan Barrier throws up a shot. It's saved by number 30, Cameron Herrera. Marshbanks with a rebound. And the Lincoln Christian takes a 2-point lead, under a minute here to play in the second quarter. Mustangs offense has hit a bit of a drought since going on that 10-point run.
Yeah, it was 20-17, and so what? It's been a kind of a 6-1 run now going to the Crusaders.
Looks like the Mustangs are going to play for that final shot here.
Yeah, either tie it up, take the lead, or down by 2, I guess, are the options right now we're looking at.
At the pace this Lincoln Christian team is running, it's smart to slow it down here, deny them another offensive possession. The Mustangs want to tie this game.
How could that not be a foul?
Crusaders have 2.9 to put up a shot.
Yeah, I guess we do have some other options. I don't know, I thought he got hit there. Should have been at the free throw line myself, but I'm not wearing a striped shirt.
And that's the first half, folks. 23-21, a relatively low-scoring first half for both of these teams, but tremendous defense on both sides. And as they head into the locker room, Son, could you catch us up on the scoring we've seen?
Yeah, so Koulis leading the way for the Mustangs with 6 points. Then you've got a trio of players, McCafferty, Matheson, and Alherthy with 4 points apiece, and then Olson with 3 points. On the other side, you have Marshbanks with 8 points, 4 each quarter, and then you've got Holen with 5, Hovendick with 3, and Barrier with 2 for the Mustangs. Only 15 points scored combined, and we've got a halftime score, 23-21, Crusaders on top.
All right, everyone, here's a brief rundown of the first half statistics. And first for Lincoln Christian, for fouls, Easton Marshbanks has 1, Ethan Barrier 1, Colin Sand 1, Luke Logan 2, Kobe Hansen 1, Cameron Herrera 1. And leading the Crusader scores and all scores, Easton Marshbanks with 8. And for the Mustangs, there's the fouls, Bob Wilson 1, Zach Koulis 1, Quinn McCafferty 1, Carson Matson 1, and Zach Alherthy with 1. And leading Mustang scores, Zach Koulis with 6. And everyone, make sure to mark your calendars as the Centennial Conference Tournament gets underway next week. And first round games will be Monday night, and on Monday, Aquinas Catholic and Lincoln Christian will square off in the first round game. The winner of that game will come here on Tuesday night to play Concordia. And for the girls, first round game will be on Monday night, and Concordia girls will travel to Lincoln Christian. And the winner of that game will advance to the quarterfinal round on Tuesday against Hastings St. Cecilia. And everyone, I want to recognize one more time that tonight is Pink Out, and it is in support of all individuals who have fought battle with cancer. And proceeds from the team shirt sales that you see out here tonight will be donated to Project Pink Incorporated, which provides tools, resources, and a strong network to strengthen and renew the mind, body, and spirit of breast cancer survivors. In 2020, Project Pink served over 5,500 breast cancer survivors across 109 cities and 60 counties in Nebraska and western Iowa. Concordia fans, make sure to keep your calendars marked. After the tournament next week, we will be back here again on Tuesday, February 1st. That will be another quadruple header with Fremont Bergen. We'll have JV games on the split court beginning at 4:30 and immediately followed by the girls' varsity game, then the boys' varsity game after that. That will be Tuesday, February 1st against Fremont Bergen. That will be the last regular season home game for the girls.
And welcome back here atop Gary Fletcher Court. Lewis Thune, Son Edom, as we prepare for the second half between the Lincoln Christian Crusaders and the hometown Concordia Mustangs. Lincoln Christian currently leading the contest 23-21. And Son, after looking at the first half, what do you think is going to determine this second half?
Well, it's definitely going to be the inside game. You know, you've got to stop Marshbanks. They did that double team with the two big guys for the Mustangs, McCafferty and All-Herethy, and that really seemed to work. And then when McCafferty came out, Marshbanks had a little bit more free reign, and he was able to get his points. He's not really dominated inside, but that's going to be key. And I think the other thing, too, is what I'm seeing from, like, Coolis, for example, a little bit, sometimes they're rushing, Matheson, too. They're rushing their shots. They're trying to take too many risky shots and, pushing the issue. Just settle down, play your game, the thing that you've been doing all year. Just stick to those fundamentals, and you'll be all right. But those, I think, are the two keys. Marshbanks on the inside, you need to keep him double-teamed and make it difficult for him, make someone else beat you. And then on the offense, the Mustangs need to just play their game, stay in control, and don't get too nutty.
And teams head back out onto the floor. Just 40 seconds left here in this halftime break. On the Mustangs, son, who would be the player to watch who's going to make the biggest difference here this half?
Well, I think you could look at two guys. You could look at Otten and you could look at Olsen, the double O's. I think they have an opportunity to really have some key contributions and kind of go unnoticed. We saw Otten, filling the passing lane on defense, knocking some passes away. Maybe he gets a steal or two this time and some easy buckets. Olsen on offense, he's been able to put up some shots and get some buckets at some key times throughout the year. So I think those two guys are people to kind of watch because they could be ones that contribute to this game that we don't normally think of.
We will keep an eye on them. Excellent back cut from Zach Coolis, but Easton Marshbanks back inside, stuffs another shot, and Lincoln Christian controls the ball, looking to score the first bucket here. A high pass to Marshbanks, and he steps on the line.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where he ends up next year, Marshbanks. I'm sure he's going to be playing college somewhere. Will he get some offers, or will he go the JC route?
I'd assume you'd probably see him somewhere in JUCO, trying to, build a lot more muscle, get a lot more polished inside, just refining all of his skills. Coolis puts in a layup and draws the foul. Marshbanks, keep in mind, he is 7 feet tall, and 7 feet tall people have a 19% chance of going to the NBA. Marshbanks actually is a good basketball player, so that puts him on the upper of that 19%.
Yeah, like you said, maybe just kind of beef up a little bit and work on your game at the next level.
He could be a very effective player at really any college. You think about the NAIA schools here in Nebraska, but especially moving up into the D2 and possibly even D1 schools when you're 7 feet tall. Those opportunities kind of open up, and Lincoln Christian can't put down a bucket. And so the Mustangs get a chance to grab another lead here. Score tied 23-23, just 1 minute into this third quarter.
Yeah, and that last missed free throw, Concordia 2 of 6 from the free throw line, 33%. That's pretty uncharacteristic from them.
Free throws are going to be key down the stretch. Both these teams are going to have to pick it up. And there's Olsen. You see, you brought him up. He takes the ball inside and scores a very nice layup on the run.
Yeah, he's making me look good.
Olsen has a way of doing that.
Lottery ticket numbers coming later.
Lincoln Christian controlling the ball up top.
Oh, that's a travel. That's a travel.
The ball is moving around inside. Student section is not loving that call, and even the Lincoln Christian photographer is agreeing with the student section that was, in fact, a travel.
Those guys must be carrying their passports because they were moving around a bit.
Indeed. Hopefully they won't get stopped too much.
Oh, come on, Otten. Oh, passing up the three.
Otten likes that match inside. A nice fadeaway too, and Otten nets himself a bucket. Mustangs up 27-25.
Yeah, that's his first bucket of the game too. Him and Olsen back-to-back contributing.
All 5 of Concordia's starters have now entered the game in scoring. Lincoln Christian again, they've chosen to go 5 outside and are looking for indoor cuts to get the ball inside rather than having Marshbanks post up. That might be a way to avoid the double team, but I think they're trying to open the game up and get some three-point shots because that is where they're able to put teams away. They're efficient, they're consistent, they're just extremely good. And Otten, a second too late there, hits Easton Marshbank's arm, and Lincoln Christian will once again inbound from under the basket.
I would almost think if Marshbanks is outside beyond the arc, sink back in on defense and let him beat you from three. I don't know him. I've never seen him play before, but I can't imagine him being a Koulis or Masson on the three-point line.
Marshbanks has a very low arcing shot, and I believe he just got called for an over the back, which is something a couple fans were complaining about over the first half, is that Marshbanks was getting a little handsy inside and wasn't getting called for any fouls. You see there, the refs blow the whistle on him, knots the fouls up at 2 apiece, and those accumulating early on here in this third quarter could come into play late in the fourth, especially if this is a close game down the stretch. Those free throws, of which both of the teams have been struggling with, are going to be absolutely crucial. Olsen takes the ball up for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the Crusaders 0 for 4 from the free throw line themselves.
Otten draws a foul and gets himself to the free throw line.
And fouls charged to the Crusaders, number 0.
Yes, let's see if Otten.
That's his third personal and team's third for the half. Just not like the line for the Mustangs win. 2 shots. And second game for the Crusaders, number 42. Ethan Hollenbeck replacing Eastern Marshbanks.
So Otten good from the free throw line.
That's a second. Mustangs take their largest lead of the game at 4 points. Crusaders almost lose a pass there. They're able to control it around, and Marshbanks now out of the game. Number 42, Ethan Hollenbeck, is working inside for them. Ethan Barrier misses inside. Mustangs once again get the ball, trying to break open this lead a bit more.
Yeah, Chancellor take the opportunity with Marshbanks on the bench.
Al Harathi has that muscle inside, and he takes advantage of Marshbanks' absence from the game and puts in another score.
I can't imagine Marshbanks being on the bench too long if that continues. That was just too easy.
That's something we see all year from Zach Al-Harathi, as he is spectacular inside in a challenge of strength. Olsen tries to step in there and take a charge, something he's been extremely smart with, but that's just an excess foul in the grand scheme of things, and Lincoln Christian gets the ball under the basket.
Yeah, those block charge or offensive fouls, you know, player control fouls are a bang-bang type of play.
Hollenbeck with the ball on the perimeter. Cohen Sand, a freshman, puts in a layup and breaks a slight scoring drought for Lincoln Christian.
Yeah, he now is second in scoring with 7 points in the game.
Otten and one. There you see Otten again scoring a basket, and Son, I'm not going to say you called it, but to this point you have been entirely correct about the scope of this second half. Justin Otten and Brock Olsen playing huge parts.
Well, let's see, Otten now with 6 points in the quarter, a chance to make it 7. And he's 3 for 3 from the line tonight.
Mustangs now up 7 on the Lincoln Christian Crusaders.
It's like a 13-4 run here in the second half for them.
Cameron Herrera from deep misses again, but Gage Holland gets the rebound, works to Sand, and now it's back to Herrera in the corner. Gage Holland. I can't tell if Holland was fouled there or if Kobe Hansen was. We'll see.
I don't think it was the shooter, so.
Off-ball foul, charged to Justin Otten. Again, that's 4 fouls here in this third quarter with 3 minutes left to play still. And once he hits 7, that team's shooting free throws, and that is not something the Mustangs want to give to this Lincoln Christian team. Cohen Sand almost makes a great play, getting off Brock Olson and moving to an open three, but he is unable to cash it in. And now the Mustangs control the ball. Zach Alharafi up top as they move the ball around.
Yeah, now could be an opportunity to look inside with Alharafi there.
The Mustangs slowing down the pace of the game. It looks like Lincoln Christian has moved to a zone, and Zach Kulis knocks down a three in the corner. Mustangs open up a 10-point lead here with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, and they have come out at halftime firing. They are not looking to lead this Lincoln Christian in the team. They want to put them in the game. They want to put them away here in the third quarter, and if Lincoln Christian can't rebound off this timeout and get some momentum going, so it could be a rather fast-paced fourth quarter, them trying to press the Mustangs out of their lead.
Well, this is the Mustang team that we've been accustomed to watching this year. The Blair game, they were out of sorts. They were out of sync. Their shots weren't falling. You know, Koulis wasn't making anything. Madsen wasn't making anything. 1 3-pointer on the night. Now, all of a sudden, you come out here in the second half, like you said, those halftime adjustments are working, and all of a sudden the shots are dropping. Otten is making his presence known. Koulis is starting to connect on the threes, a little hustle on defense, getting those defensive boards. And the next thing you know now, at one point when you were down 17-10 and things were looking kind of bleak, you've gone on a big run and have a 10-point lead.
Checking back in for the Crusaders, Easton Marshbanks and Luke Hovendick, two of their starters. Like I said, Lincoln Christian is trying to put themselves back in this game. Those past 4 minutes of the third quarter have really kind of taken the breath out of them. They need to close this deficit heading into the fourth quarter if they want to be able to play regular basketball and not have to get into full court presses or dumb fouls trying to pressure the Mustangs into steals, especially because we've seen this Mustangs team is tremendous under pressure.
Yeah, right now the Crusaders, they're hanging on that 17-point first quarter performance. Since then, they only have 10 points, and we're almost done with this third quarter.
Cohen Sand again attempts a floater, and Marshbanks gets the rebound and takes it on 4 Mustang defenders, managing to get fouled there by Quentin McCaffrey, and he's headed to the free throw line for 2 free throws. And now we get to see our big men really bad at shooting free throws. Easton Marshbanks, standing at 7 feet tall, is undoubtedly the largest big man the Mustangs have seen ever. And he misses the first free throw.
Yeah, he's 0 for 2 from the line tonight.
Here we have the student section rowing the boat. And Marshbanks is able to cash in that second free throw. Brings it back down to a single-digit game, but Mustangs here, their offense is rolling. They want to put this lead back up into double digits. Madsen from the corner, off his back foot, and McCaffrey can't corral the rebound. Lincoln Christian takes the ball. Just under 2 minutes left to play here in this third quarter. Cohen Sand misses in close. Otten grabs the rebound. And this Mustangs team is running the court again. Let's see if they can. Oh, they're not slowing down the pace at all. They're running directly at the Mustangs, and Jim goes silent as that clearly looked like a foul on Easton Marshbanks as his arms came down into Zach Koulis, but apparently it didn't look enough like a shot as Koulis was trying to get the ball over his shoulders, and apparently no foul. He saves ball from going past half court, and Mustangs wisely going to try and slow down the pace here. Otten bides his time inside, but can't cash in. A little floater. And under a minute to play. Quentin McCaffrey called for a foul, and that's 6 fouls against the Mustangs right now. Just one more is going to put these Lincoln Christian Crusaders at the line. And Zahn, free throws in a game as close as this one really have a way of closing deficits.
Yeah, so far the Crusaders are 1 of 6 from the line, but they might have some opportunities to make up some in the fourth quarter because they'll be shooting the rest of the way.
Ovendick takes a little shot to the face there from Zach Koulis, unintentional. Cohen Sand drops off to Easton Marshbanks, And Auten is called for a foul. Marshbanks is going to head to the line. That pushes the Mustangs to 7 fouls in just the third quarter. Lincoln Christian is now in the bonus. Marshbanks 1 for 2 from the line.
And for Auten, that's his third personal foul, too. Marshbanks heating up from the free throw line. He missed his first 2. Now he's made a couple.
Zach O'Harahy checks in for Justin Auten. Coach Ken Koulis is going to try and save Auten for that fourth quarter. 3 fouls isn't a lot late in the game, but especially in a close game, those fouls might rack up and you might see Justin Auten effectively taken out of the game.
Marshbanks 13 points now in the contest.
And he checks out of the game. Mustangs again want to break open the scoring. Lincoln Christian wisely takes him out with just 30 seconds left. Not a chance for the Mustangs to go on a huge run here as the quarter winds down, and they're going to play for the last shot. Lined up in that 2-1-2 offense.
Yeah, we'll see if they can put some points on the board and extend that lead again.
Tight defense being applied, and a blocking foul called on Gage Holland. That pushes Lincoln Christian to 5 fouls. So it looks like we might see a lot of free throws being shot in this fourth quarter. And Mustangs have 7 seconds to put up a shot. Puts up a hook, and it's halfway down before it rims out. 37-30. We head into the fourth quarter with the Mustangs clinging to a 7-point lead after a relatively impressive third quarter, at least by this game's standards. Low-scoring game, like I said, on both sides. Very, very unimpressive offense, but spectacular defense. Song, how's the score sheet looking?
Okay, well, in that quarter, the Mustangs outscored their opponent 16-7. From the free throw line tonight, the Mustangs are 5 of 8. The Crusaders are 3 of 8. Leading scorer for the Crusaders, Marshbanks with 13 points, including 3 of 5 from the free throw line. Then you've got Sands, the freshman, off the bench with 7, and Holland with 5. For the Crusaders, Koulis in double digits with 11, plus a couple three-pointers. You've got Auten with 7, O'Harahy with 6, I guess Olsen with 5, and Matheson with 4. And so if it wasn't for that first quarter, 17 points, since then, the Crusaders have only scored 13. They've been outscored 25-13 in the last second and third quarters for this contest.
It's an interesting stat. It's interesting to see, even after 3 quarters, only one player in double digits. That goes for both sides. Marshbanks gets the ball, but he's not down there in the post. Throws a cross-court pass to Cohen Sand. Gets the ball stripped, but Lincoln Christian gets the roll, and Luke Hovendick controls the ball up top. That head fake, I've seen that many times from Luke Hovendick.
Yep.
Barrier loses the dribble and picks up a drop. That is a double dribble, and the Lincoln Christian Crusaders are going to surrender the ball to the Concordia Mustangs. 7-point lead here, only 30 seconds into this fourth quarter. Brock Olsen brings the ball up for the Mustangs. That's another block from Marshbanks. Cohen Sand takes the ball down the court and cashes in. The layup, closing the deficit to 5.
Yep, they're on a 5-0 run right now.
Zach Koulis up top, moves it to Quentin McCafferty, and McCafferty sets a screen for Karsten Matheson. A nice pass, and McCafferty can't convert. Marshbanks chases down a very long rebound, and Hovendick takes the ball inside. No score, but Marshbanks grabs the rebound, and another bucket for the Lincoln Christian Crusaders. They've opened up this quarter, scoring the first 4, and the deficit is now only 3. I have to think, if the Mustangs give up another bucket without getting one of their own, Coach Ken Koulis might want to take a timeout. He still has 5 remaining.
Yeah, you just need to settle down right now if you're the Mustangs and get back into your offense, get back into your flow like you did in the third quarter.
We've only seen 7 players tonight for the Mustangs, and A very nice pass from Zach Alherathi. Hits Quentin McCafferty in cut, and he is able to score.
Yeah, you can do that all night. Get Marshbanks to commit to one, pass it off to the other, and those two big guys down low for the Mustangs can have a big fourth quarter.
There you see Quentin McCafferty keeping Marshbanks off at the post, but he converts from the elbow, and looks like Lincoln Christian takes the timeout, so they'll only have two remaining. Marshbanks again cashes in, pushing his figures to, I believe, 16?
Yeah, Marshbanks 17. See, that's an interesting timeout because, like you said, Concordia, they were kind of on the ropes there, and they've got plenty of timeouts. They're kind of on the ropes. Lincoln Christian, they're on a run here, and then all of a sudden Lincoln Christian calls a timeout. That allows them to have a free, the Mustangs have a free session here to get back on the same page. So I don't know why you would call a timeout, but I guess things trend. Remember when the opposing team would call timeouts to ice a free throw shooter? Mm-hmm. Now it's common for the free throw shooting team to call a timeout between free throw attempts. So I don't know, maybe the game has changed over the course of time, but I thought that's an interesting timeout for the Crusaders, giving the Mustangs an opportunity to regroup here.
That's an interesting call from Lincoln Christian's head coach, but we'll see if it pays off for him. Mustangs now have their 5 starters on the court and unable to set it up inside. Kulis trying to get a pass into Alherathi, but Kulis knocks down a three, and that is something that the Mustangs desperately needed in that Blair game, and even so tonight in this low-scoring affair. Marshbanks gets the ball inside, passes cross-court to Cohen Sand. He can't convert, and certainly as his career there at Lincoln Christian continues, those shots will fall. He is a great player, but
I think Mattson forcing the issue on that shot.
Mustangs miss one of their own. Mattson there trying to put a dagger in Lincoln Christian, maybe force another timeout, break that deficit open, and get that student section as a factor down the stretch. But with that three banking out and now a foul, Lincoln Christian gets to the line. A couple free buckets here.
Kulis 14 points on the night, including 3 three-pointers.
Kobe Hansen rolls in the 1-and-1, and he breathed heavy after that. He thought that was a lucky roll, clearly, but it went in, and he's looking to cash in another. It misses. Marshbanks with the rebound, twirls on that pivot foot and puts a shot up. They get a hold call there on number 4, Gage Holland, pushing Lincoln Christian to 6 fouls, so Mustangs will be shooting down the stretch here as well.
And that's a big rebound there by Otten, because Marshbanks had it, and then he missed, but he was going after the ball again, and Otten able to fight him off and get the control for the Mustangs.
You don't often see that from Easton Marshbanks, so it is even more critical, like you said, for Otten to grab that rebound, because he's not going to miss twice in a row, especially from that close.
Five-point lead here midway through the fourth quarter. Let's see how the second half of the quarter goes.
Kulis takes his drive. It's easily swatted away by Easton Marshbanks, but foul is called in the air, so Kulis will get 2 shots guaranteed. Lincoln Christian now with 7 fouls, so both teams will be shooting free throws for the remainder of the night here with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in this final quarter.
Makes his first free throw of the night, so he's one of, check that, he's now 2 of 3 from the line tonight. He made one back in the first quarter.
Kulis, vital to this Mustangs offense, known to hit big-time shots like we saw in that Blair game. And here, free throw, not quite as important as a big shot in overtime, but in the grand scheme of things, especially with 4 minutes left in a close game, those points are going to start adding up towards that final score. Marshbanks takes the ball inside, tries to out-muscle Alherathi, ends up putting up a little hook shot, and he gets that roll, so that's pushing him close to 20 on the night.
Yeah, he's got 19 now.
Student section's dueling as...
Oh, wow.
That's another fadeaway. And you see that's 9 points in the second half for Justin Otten. He has made himself a factor in this game.
Yeah, all you have to do is just exchange buckets, and you got the victory. Go 1 for 1.
Ovendick gets Matheson to bite, but chooses not to put up a shot. Ball's moved inside to Marshbanks. If he puts that ball on the ground, you would expect the Mustangs to hawk. And Cohen Sand unable to put it in. Oh, wow. Matheson loses that dribble. And Lincoln Christian converts. And that is something that cannot happen in a close game, as you cannot give up an easy steal like that. Matheson not happy with himself after that, especially as the Mustangs had a chance to swell that lead to 9, and instead Lincoln Christian closes to 5. But Justin Otten, son, you said he would be a factor in this second half, and he has just netted his 11th point on the half and on the game.
And the assist goes to Olsen.
An impressive performance for both of them, and both foreseen by you.
Like I said, lottery ticket numbers coming up shortly. No, but it's good to see these guys do this because, you know, when you start to move down to the postseason, okay, Concordia made it to the state, finished 3rd. Teams are going to start to become familiar with this club, and they're going to focus on the three-point shooters, maybe their inside game. So having these kind of off players, like on these role players, step up big and contribute and make an impact in a game like this, it's going to bode well for them, because now you can't just focus on 1 or 2 players for the Mustangs. You're going to have to realize there's opponents coming in that, okay, we've got 4 or 5 guys we have to watch.
Yeah, Justin Otten, he's not the guy the Mustangs rely on to go put out 15, 18 on a night and carry the team on his back in a clutch moment. But he is a key role player, a starter, a staple in the offense, extremely consistent. And we saw that tonight after a cold first half. He's come out in these 3rd and 4th quarters and made himself known to the Lincoln Christian team. He's using that size advantage he has on Ethan Barrier there, a difference of 6 inches between the two.
Crusaders made 3 3-pointers in the first quarter. Nice steal by Otten. They haven't made a 3-pointer since.
Lincoln Christian.
I was going to say, so again, close down Marshbanks and make someone else beat you. I don't think they can.
It has been a tough night from 3-point range for this Lincoln Christian team, and when Marshbanks isn't on, they rely on that offense from range to score them points down the stretch. And Mustangs playing a little U10 Chieftain strategy here and playing ball control down the stretch. They're up by 7 with 2 minutes left. They're not going to look to put up a shot, and Brock Olson is going to end up putting up hopefully 2 shots as he heads to the line for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, and again, don't forget, these 2 teams are probably, as if things go as planned, going to match up Tuesday night here for the rematch in the conference playoffs.
That's going to be quite a game, and, you know, if both of these teams continue on the path that they've laid out so far this season, like you said, we're probably going to see them back here less than a week from today, doing it all over again for round 2. Marshbanks, he made himself open on the post, but he was under the basket.
Ooh, block shot or a jump ball.
They called a jump ball. I believe Marshbanks had firm possession of the ball, but because he went up and it was swatted and he came down with it, that's the reason for the jump ball, because they're not going to call it a travel, but they're not going to call it a free ball either. So Matheson takes the ball, draws a foul, and the Mustangs' best free throw shooter is headed to the line.
He's 1 of 4 from the line tonight.
Matheson also chasing Buck Linen, not only for the 3-point record here at this school, but for the free throw record here at this school. He's extremely efficient, as I detailed earlier. He's great, reliable from the line. He has missed 3 tonight. I believe he's 1 for 4, but you see there, in clutch moments like we saw against the Roncalli Crimson Pride, Matheson is on his prime.
Yeah, extends the lead to 8.
50th point for the Mustangs gives them a 9-point lead with less than 2 minutes to play, and Lincoln Christian is going to have to sink some 3-pointers here or get Marshbanks in the game, and the pass is too far. Marshbanks is upset. The Mustangs get the ball, and they could make this a double-digit game with less than 2 minutes to play, and if that happens, you got to believe that it's all but over.
Yeah, outside of Marshbanks, the Crusaders' shooting has gone as cold as it is outside. They're just not making anything.
Sub-zero?
Sub-zero. They're in the deep freeze.
And Olsen's headed to the line. Mustangs now in the double bonus, so he's going to get his 2 shots. And perhaps we might see in these final fouling minutes of the game, Brock Olsen could put himself in double digits, and that would make Sawnita more right if it was ever possible.
Well, look at outside of the first quarter, the second, third, and now the fourth quarter, anybody other than Marshbanks scoring has only contributed 5 points in almost 3 quarters.
This offense has run through Easton Marshbanks tonight as the Mustangs have gradually shut him down and limited his time with the ball in the post by getting that double team, not allowing him to put the ball on the ground and putting tough box outs on him with guys like Al Harathi and McCafferty. This Lincoln Christian offense has all but stalled.
Yeah, outside of a complete collapse here, Mustangs are going to come away with the victory. 11-point lead with 1:15 is almost insurmountable.
Tough press put in there by Lincoln Christian, and Matheson, wisely trapped in a corner, chooses to take a timeout. And so the Mustangs will inbound the ball from this side of the court, up 11 here on the Lincoln Christian Crusaders.
Yeah, see, remember when Lincoln Christian called a timeout? They just made a bucket. It was 39-36. They called a timeout, and I kind of questioned the timeout. You got momentum. Why are you killing it? Concordia comes out. Colas hits the 3, and they go on a 12-5 run since that Lincoln Christian timeout. And like you said, you preserved a timeout. You have now 3 after using this one. So Matheson trapped in the corner, call a timeout because you've got plenty of them.
That Lincoln Christian timeout might be a defining moment in this game. I think Lincoln Christian saw possibly a weakness they wanted to exploit. They came out and tried to aggressively give the ball to Marshbanks after that timeout, but it just didn't pan out. And now you've seen the Mustangs have taken advantage of that stall in Lincoln Christian's momentum, self-inflicted wound, and they've come out, opened this lead up to 11, and all but put the game away.
And keep in mind, the Crusaders have committed 10 team fouls, so now every foul will be a 2-shot free throw shooting for the Mustangs.
Can Brock Olsen inbound this ball past Easton Marshbanks? Oh, Matheson touches the ball as it's headed out. Lincoln Christian forces a turnover on these Mustangs, and they put in Luke Hovendick, the reliable shooter. He has been a consistently good 3-point shooter all of his years. And I actually have known him since about 7th grade, and I have watched him improve. He's gotten far, far better, and just lethal for this Lincoln Christian team. They're going to need him to net something down the stretch.
He does have one of the 3 threes that the Crusaders have made tonight back in that first quarter.
Tossed up a couple threes here, and Lincoln Christian is now drained about 15 seconds from the clock. Sand misses again. You see, the freshman has put up a lot of shots tonight, and he's effective early. Not the same tale now as Cohen Sand misses. Mustangs hit the rebound. Crusaders foul, and Karsten Matheson headed back to the line. Mustangs up 11, 51.9 to play in the game.
And your buddy Hovendick, your 3-point shooter, just fouled out.
Tough night there for Luke Hovendick.
And that takes away, like you mentioned, they're going to need some threes with 52 seconds to play down by 11. You're looking at a 3-point shooting thing now, and one of your top 3-point shooters fouls out. That hurts.
Your Christian's going to have to find a way to get an open shot, and this Mustangs defense, aside from the first quarter, has been absolutely stifling, following cuts, getting around screens, switching when necessary, but most importantly, taking Easton Marshbanks out of the post. And as you see, Easton Marshbanks is not going to be much help to this Lincoln Christian team down 11. Marshbanks grabs a rebound. He's tied up by Justin Otten. Unintentional there. Or perhaps it was intentional. You can never really tell, but the one thing you absolutely don't want is for Easton Marshbanks to get his arms over his head, in which case you might as well count 2 points.
4 fouls on Otten.
Marshbanks knocks down a free throw, cuts the deficit to 10 here with less than 40 seconds to play. We'll see if this Lincoln Christian press can force a turnover.
He's made 5 in a row from the free throw line. Marchbanks has.
He's now over 20 on the day, the highest scorer on either side by a song. Koulis protects the ball on the sideline, draws a foul, and once again a Mustang heads to the line as Lincoln Christian goes to speak with their coach. They're going to have to put something together here, especially with Koulis at the line. You'd expect him to make at least one of these free throws.
3 of 4 from the line tonight.
Koulis unable to knock it down.
Yeah, 3 of 5. Like you said, they need this one to make it double digit, and which he does.
Koulis converts, and about 20 seconds left to play here. Lincoln Christian needs a quick shot and a miracle.
Oh!
Harrathy called for the foul on Marchbanks, and he's just going to cushion his point total tonight. Another impressive game for Easton Marchbanks, the highest scorer in this Lincoln Christian program this year. The offense runs through him, and other teams have to go through him to get buckets. But tonight, Concordia was able to take him away rather effectively in the later quarters and restrict the offense, pretty much making them exclusively the Easton Marchbanks show.
And he missed them both.
Olsen pulls down the board. A long pass from Koulis to Matheson to Otten. 10 seconds left to play here. Otten will just control the ball.
And fittingly, Otten will run out the clock.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the game. Tonight, the Concordia Mustangs are able to come back from a weak first quarter, rebound, and ultimately pull away with a 10-point victory against this tough Lincoln Christian Crusaders team. And this might be chapter 1 of this storied rivalry between the two teams. We saw it was an extremely tough game, fought well on both sides, and Lincoln Christian is likely going to be coming back here next Monday, and they're going to have unfinished business.
Well, they take a look at the final totals real quick. Koulis led the way with the Mustangs, 17 points. I believe it was Otten with 11. Olsen was 7. McCafferty, Matheson, and Harrathy each with 6, and leading the way for the Crusaders. The 21 points was Marchbanks, but again, Olsen and Otten, made a difference in that second half, not to toot my own horn, but they really made a difference. I mean, 11 points, 7 points, that's 18 points in the contest combined, plus some good defense and getting some tough rebounds and, making the big guys underneath work. So a good victory for the Mustangs tonight, and we look forward to a possible rematch again Tuesday night, and we will be having the live stream broadcast on Tuesday night. So your final thoughts, Lewis, as we wrap things up and the 53-43 victory for the Mustangs.
It was a spectacular game. Mustangs were able to open it up a little bit in the fourth quarter, and the last couple minutes turned into a mere formality. But tonight, you saw Easton Marchbanks carry this Lincoln Christian team almost single-handedly. As you pointed out, the other Crusaders were unable to give him much help on that side of the ball. Marchbanks tallied himself a lot of blocks, a lot of boards, a lot of points, but in the end, the Mustangs defense was able to limit his production, and ultimately that gave the Mustangs the victory tonight.
Well, that's going to do it for us from Concordia High School. Thanks for being with us. We will see you back here Tuesday night. For Lewis Thune, I'm Sonny. The Mustangs get the win, and we'll see you Tuesday night here on